Remember when I told you that Trump is decreasing Black employment without saying the word Black? We have the numbers. Black unemployment dramatically increases under Donald Trump. Black unemployment under Trump reaches its highest rate since the pandemic. Let me tell you what this means. The latest jobs report released by the Department of Labor shows that Black unemployment spiked to 7.2% in July, marking its highest rate since the COVID-19 pandemic nearly 4 years ago. The Black unemployment rate has not seen its current level since October 2021, when it was 7.8%. The unemployment rate for Black workers reached its lowest level in U.S. history during the Biden administration, 5%. Trump appeared enraged over Friday's overall job numbers, which included a downward turn in the number of added jobs last month, which was only 73,000 according to the Griot. He posted to Truth Social and announced the firing of the Bureau of Labor Statistics commissioner. As a result, he accused the Biden appointee of previously faking the jobs numbers to influence the 2024 election in favor of former Vice President Kamala Harris. All because the department released the same data based on the same metric that they have always used. But this time, he can't even lie his way out of the quantitative math. And in order to create smoke and mirrors to his inadequacy, he blames the commissioner and makes up a hell of a creative story that includes a conspiracy between Biden, Kamala Harris, and the labor commissioner. Quote, I was just informed that our country's job numbers are being produced by Biden appointee. Yes, Dr. Erica McKentrifer, the Commissioner of Labor Statistics, who faked the jobs numbers before the election to try and boost Kamala's chances of victory. Sir, you've just admitted that this week you just found out who the person is who's the labor commissioner, statistics. You didn't know that? You've been president for a minute. You just found this out. But she's the one who's incompetent. Okay, I got it. So in another post, he wrote, last week's jobs report was rigged. The report was rigged, ladies and gentlemen. Just like the numbers prior to the presidential election, they were rigged too. That's why in both cases, there was massive record-setting revisions. In favor of the radical left Democrats, those big adjustments were made to cover up and to level out the fake political numbers that were concocted in order to make a great Republican success look less stellar. I will pick an exceptional replacement. Thank you for your attention to this matter. MAGA. Are we even in a real place? Is Earth a real place? Definitely we're in a simulation. This man has blamed Democrats who are no longer in office for doing this instead of being one thing, thoughtful about you. He'd rather have propaganda, lies. He doesn't care if you have a job. He knows you don't. He doesn't care that you have to make ends meet. He doesn't. He's not concerned about spending millions and millions of taxpayer dollars on things like ballrooms and private jets. He doesn't care that he could be compromised by foreign governments in order to sell you out. Hell, he's basically advertising he's for sale. Trump says he's done more for Black Americans than anyone. These are just words. If pushing Black unemployment to its highest level since 2021 is his idea of progress, we hate to see what failure looks like to him, said Brandon Weathersby, spokesperson for American Bridge 21st Century. Weathersby told the Griot, quote, instead of delivering on his promises to the working class, Trump is handing out tax breaks to billionaires while Black unemployment climbs and good-paying jobs disappear, he added. Quote, while Trump celebrates phony job numbers and lines the pockets of his ultra-rich donors, Black workers are paying the price. We told you this would happen. We said it right here on Indisputable. The jobs that he has decided to cut, it wasn't just a DEI policy. It was the fact that he was gutting federal workforces that employed Black folk. Remember, the federal government is the #1 singular employer of Black people in the United States of America. The Department of Education being the chief of them, and it happens to be the only entity in the country where Black people are overrepresented based on population ratio. And that's what he gutted primarily. What do you think he's doing? And it has now equated to the eventual cause and effect. It's not complicated. It's just numbers. Angela Hanks, Chief of Policy Programs, Century Foundation, former Department of Labor official under the Biden administration, told the Griot that the, quote, chaotic nature of Trump's policies has, quote, made the economy less stable. The labor policy expert and researcher warned that the rise in Black unemployment could signal broader economic strains for the country. That is correct. That is correct. Why? Because when one loses, we all lose. That's why. But once again, you're back to basic math, cause and effect. Your needs paradigm has not changed. You still need the basic. You need food, you need water, you need shelter, and you need safety. And if you don't have those, there's a breakdown in what we understand as civilization, meaning folks start to act uncivil toward each other. I'm hungry. I don't care that it says no trespassing. I'm going to grab this food. I don't care that you say, I can't lay here. I can't go to sleep. I don't care. I need somewhere to stay. These things happen out of needs. And that need is artificially induced. It's created by policy. Black workers are often the last hired, the first fired. And so when you see Black unemployment rising, it's both concerning for Black workers, but it also tends to suggest something deeper is going on in the economy, she explained. During the Great Recession and the COVID-19 pandemic, for example, the data showed a rise in Black unemployment. Hanks warned, it's typically associated with some sort of crisis that's happening more broadly. Trump White House reportedly refused to provide guests to talk about the poor jobs report. After the president fired the head of the BLS on Friday, they invited White House to provide a guest to respond. George Stephanopoulos explained they declined. I won't talk about that. Why? Because it is so egregious. First of all, George, you know good and damn well they're going to come on your show and lie anyway. But this is such an egregious truth. They don't have the mental gymnastics nor creative capacity to lie out of this one. So instead of going on your show, they just will say, we decline. More than 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs. 300,000 plus. But one woman is making a difference. Her name is Felicia Butterfield, has launched a global state of women, a collective relief fund. We want to help her. The relief campaign, curated by Butterfield and her company Seed Media, has raised over $3,000 within 12 hours, and the ultimate goal is to meet or surpass $100,000 within a month. Quote, people want to show up, but they just don't know how. And so this is one way to do it. The award-winning business leader said, adding that half of the donors were Black men. Black men that we know and trust are quietly giving. I will be among them, Butterfield confirmed. The Global State of Women Relief Fund offers emergency cash assistance to Black women facing financial hardship from job loss, unemployment, or unexpected crisis. Whether it's groceries, rent, childcare, or transit. Well, helping women breathe again, the site states. We will include a link with the video for you to click that link and easily provide assistance. All right, Sharon, thoughts here.
Yeah, it inspires me because it reminds me of that period called Reconstruction after slavery, where Black people lifted each other up, helped one another, and prospered. At the same time, the policy, this artful, devious policy that you mentioned, will be followed by more policy blaming those who are desperate and seeking shelter and food and just something to survive on. And it will become violent, also like the period of Reconstruction ultimately became. So, it's something that, what's the choice? You could dip out or you can stay in the fight. And I like how some are saying, you know what, this is the blueprint to stay in the fight.
That's right. And I want to remind people, I know, especially if you have been a victim of these policies directly, you lost your job because of this insanity, it feels like there's no light at the end of a tunnel. As a matter of fact, it seems like there's probably no tunnel. Maybe the world is the tunnel itself, and there's no escape. But I want to remind you that some of the greatest men and women were not defined by encouragement and support. They were defined by experiencing the polarity, the opposite of that. Sometimes, going through this kind of pressure awakens something inside of all of us that transforms the entire narrative. All right, I don't want you to ever forget that.